Welcome to Whisperwood Stories. Sorry for the long silence, but we're back now. I appreciate your patience. Today we read 4 stories from r/shortscarystories. The first 2 were submitted by Short Story 1. Let's begin. Submission 1 from Short Story 1. I should have allowed the man to spike her drink. I was at a cafe with my friend, and we were just having a full English breakfast. It's a good cafe, and I have been eating there for many years now. I was just catching up with my friend, but I couldn't help but notice that an awkward tension was coming from the table in front of us. I assumed they were on a date, which went wrong, or a long-term couple with issues. The cafe is in the city center, and it's always pretty busy, but the service is always top-notch. The whole time I was there, I couldn't help but get a weird vibe from the table in front of us. There was something about the couple in front of us. You know how you can sense that something is off with someone? Like their mental state has been rattled and their emotional state is a little wobbly. Well, that's what I got from these 2. Then the woman got up to go to the bathroom, and it was just the guy now. The guy definitely had a worried look, and he looked stressed. I could tell that he didn't like how busy the cafe was getting. Then I saw him putting something in the woman's drink. I couldn't believe that I saw it happening right in front of me. I then saw him do it again, and I say to my friend about what I had just saw. My friend looked at the guy, and he did it again. He put something in the woman's drink. Nobody else saw it, and then when the woman came back and was about to drink her drink, I stopped her. I told her what I had just seen, and my friend backed me up and she threw the drink at the guy. The whole cafe went quiet, and they were all staring at the guy. He had a scared look on his face, and he muttered, "You don't understand. This isn't what it looks like." Then another customer in the cafe shouted loud, "Then what does it look like then?" The man was lost for words, and he was clearly embarrassed. He tried to talk, but he was just muttering now, and then he just walked out. We talked with the woman, and she was staying at a hotel. We wished her the best. Later that day, we hear breaking news from the very same hotel, and the hotel stayers had been killed by some creature. The police managed to kill the creature, and the creature turned back into the human that it had control over. It was the woman from the cafe. So many people were killed in that hotel, and we should have let the woman drink the drink, because whatever was put in her drink, the man was right, and we clearly didn't understand. Submission 2 from Short Story 1. Be wary of what wedding ring your spouse gives you on your wedding day. Hey people, be careful what wedding ring you get from your spouse. The wedding ring I got was expensive, but worth it in my eyes. My future wife loved it, and the jewelry guy was over the moon for selling it to me. He told me this wedding ring was truly special. I remember putting the wedding ring onto my wife's finger, and the day was just even more perfect after that. Then, when it was time for the honeymoon, Michelle was just different. She needed telling what to do a lot, and this was not like her at all. Like I had to tell her what to do with the bags and everything, and even when to show her plane ticket. On the plane, I could tell that she was tired, but she was stopping herself from sleeping for some reason. I told her she should get some sleep, and she did straight away. Something was off. and throughout the honeymoon, Michelle wouldn't move without my command. Something was wrong, truly wrong, and I tried having a conversation with her, but she had no understanding of conversations anymore. The whole honeymoon, she would just look at the wall unless I told her to do something. I even had to tell her to eat. Honeymoon was ruined, I guess, for this behavior. When I got home, I did get annoyed with her unusual behavior. She would only do things with my commands still. I then put it together that she started acting like this a day after I put the wedding ring on her. I tried taking the wedding ring off, but I couldn't. I went back to the jewelry guy who sold me the ring, and there was a long queue of men and women who all wanted the same special wedding ring. As I waited for my turn to talk to the jewelry guy, I overheard a conversation. The conversations were about people who wanted the special wedding ring that lets you completely control your spouse. I was shocked, and there were men who wanted to control their wives and women who wanted to control their husbands through this wedding ring by putting it on their spouse's finger. I asked the jewelry guy how to take it off, and he said there was only one way to take it off: by chopping off the finger. I went home and ordered my wife to drink some alcohol, and I chopped her finger. She became herself and she screamed. She told me how she was trapped inside her body and she couldn't do anything. She thanked me for saving her. Our third story is from Waiting for Mid-Moon. I woke up with a headache. I woke up to the sound of silence. Silence and a headache. Callum? Callum? Silence greeted me, sending a chill down my spine. I stumbled through the house, searching every room, but there was no sign of Callum. I reached the front door, only to find it boarded up with thick planks of wood from the outside. I was really starting to panic. What's going on? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Who would do this? I thought, my headache gaining strength. I rushed to the windows, hoping for an escape, but they were too sealed shut with boards, blocking out any glimpse of the outside world. No, this can't be happening. I grabbed a hammer and started pounding on the doors and windows, desperate to break free. But anything I did was done in vain. Even the phones didn't work. I quickly broke down. Please, someone help me! I'm trapped! I pounded on the doors. Tears streamed down my face as I realized the gravity of the situation. Days turned into nights, and nights into an endless cycle of terror. Sleep became a distant memory, and nightmares plagued my every waking moment. I could hear Callum's laugh echo throughout the hallway, taunting me, and you can just forget about going in the bathroom. This can't be real. It's all just a bad dream. This can't be real. It's all just a bad dream. I'd whisper to myself over and over. After a while, the house seemed to take on a life of its own. The walls seemed to close in on me, suffocating me with its oppressive presence. The shadows that lurked in the corners began whispering secrets that sent shivers down my spine, and every creak and groan of the house echoed Callum's beautiful laugh, amplifying my headache. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into an eternity. I clung to the hope that someone would come to my rescue, that this nightmare would end. But as the weeks stretched on, that hope completely dwindled. I'm all alone. Nobody's coming. I'm trapped here forever. And then one day, a voice broke through the silence. A woman's voice.
Here we are. Oh, hang on.
The front doors were shaken, then suddenly forced wide open, and followed by 3 women, coughing from all the dust and giggling about God knows what. What she said next hit me like a ton of bricks.
Right, here we are. I know, it needs quite a bit of work, but this will be one hell of a great investment for your family. As you can see, it has high ceilings and original floors. Yes, it hasn't been occupied in over 50 years, but...
What? 50 years? What was she talking about?
And just what exactly happened here?
Asked one of the other women.
It was a murder-suicide kind of situation.
What? What was she saying?
What? Oh my, what happened?
Well, it was reported that the mother drowned her son in the bathtub and then shot herself in the head. Our last story is another from Simba the Savage. Jigsaw. The cardboard called out to me from the shop window. It reached out with its squiggly gray arms and whimpered like a lost puppy. So I bought it. How else could I resist? Back home, I placed the cardboard on the dining table, sat down, and examined it. It was a uniform shade of gray, the color of wispy smoke floating in the air during a cold winter's day, and about as thick as my thumb. At first, I had no idea why I bought a useless piece of cardboard, but I couldn't bear to throw it away. Instead, I lay in bed, tossing and turning as the cardboard whispered in my dreams. I saw things I shouldn't have seen. Demons and nightmares galloping across the realms of my dreams. And above all, the furrowed brows of an angry old man on that uniform sheet of gray. By the next morning, I knew what I had to do for him. I hadn't used a jigsaw in ages, since my days as a carpenter perhaps, selling tables decorated with flowers and birds. But now, as I took it down from the shelf, I patted it affectionately on the handle. It didn't feel like a tool anymore. No, it was more an extension of my arm, a muscle I could move as I wished. I took the jigsaw to the dining table where my cardboard sat, patiently, plugged it in, and placed the blade against my skin. Against the loud roar of the machinery, I couldn't feel the first nick. But then the pain came, seeping into my nerves like rotten filth, and I hissed instinctively and twisted the jigsaw away. But my cardboard sat, knowingly, and with his nod of encouragement and approval, I continued. It took me minutes to carve out the first piece. I took great care to place my finished sculpture on the corner where it lay. It was an incomplete square, with 2 gaping mouths in the north and east. It begged for friends, companions, someone to hold hands with in joyful union for eternity. And so I obliged. Hours upon hours I worked, wriggling the jigsaw in and around the flesh. The sky darkened as the sun passed through the horizon, dampening the room in shades of gold, then navy, then black. I turned on the light and kept going. I won't stop until it's finished. I won't. It was midnight when the puzzle was finished, and I leaned back in my chair and took a fresh gasp of air. My skin looked like it was chewed on by maggots, the bone exposed and dripping with leftover sinew. A drop of crimson fell on my cardboard, slowly disappearing like it was sucked from a straw. Then the old grumpy cardboard face turned up its lips and it smiled. Thank you for listening to Whisperwood Stories. If you enjoyed, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Do you have a story that you'd like me to read here? Consider commenting or sending it to whisperwoodsubmissions@gmail.com. The stories in this video were read with the author's permissions. Thank you again for listening, and be sure to check out the original Reddit posts. I appreciate your patience in my long absence, but alas, I am returned. Want to support me? Check the link below where you can leave a tip if you wish. And remember, don't let the shadows get too close. Good night.